Hi there. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. Welcome to our live Friday question and answer class, where you can ask questions regarding American English pronunciation, American accent, intonation, anything that you need to help you improve your personal and professional communication in American English. Thank you so much for all of the requests and suggestions for words to cover in our Word of the Day series. I have a great list of really helpful words that I'll be going through over the next weeks and months. I plan to continue that series for quite some time because I'm getting many requests, and the words that you are asking about help not only you, but other viewers as well. Thank you also to all of our new channel members. We have a number of people who have become members of the channel. They're supporting the channel financially with a very small subscription fee. And for that, they're getting some extra live classes, extra videos, and resources from speechmodification.com. So I appreciate all of you members and subscribers. And don't worry if you're not a member or a subscriber. If you're interested in doing that, you're welcome to. I would love the support. If you can't do that at this time, we still have daily free classes and these weekly free classes that are open to everyone. My goal is to bring you high quality content that actually helps you, that you can use to improve, because I'm so impressed with those of you who are working on having the best American English that you can. And many times it's hard to find reliable, good sources of information to help you. So that's what I'm looking to provide for you. I also will mention that these joining as a member is a way to get access to more training at a lower price. So you can also look into my group classes and one-on-one training online courses on my website, speechmodification.com. Let's see what your questions are today, and we'll get right down to business. Nice to see you, everyone. Susanna, I'm not sure about your particular word that you're asking about. She's asking about words that end in AE, those letters. And I think that's usually something that is going to be your word, I would guess, would be musacia, cia. So it ends in that. So probably a schwa. Or it could be a clear A. But I would use an online dictionary and look for what symbols they show you for the vowels. And if you've been attending my classes, as I know you have been, you've been seeing how I use the symbols for vowel sounds. And you can use my vowels playlist to help you with that. Hi, Dana. She has a question about the word, again, this word. So it's a location, capital X. I think the XI in, this is China, right? The XI says chi or Z, but unfortunately, I don't know. So it would be Xian, Xian, Qian. I'd have to look that up for you. I recall there are particular rules how we anglicize the spelling of places in China, but I don't know that off the top of my head, and I don't have a quick resource for you. Sorry about that. So Halim, welcome. He would like to know about the words processing, processes, and tutorial. Yes, I have those on my word of the day list, but I'll go ahead and cover them for you now. Thank you for repeating your request. So processing, this is a great word to look at because it has first syllable stress. So it's an example of where the letter O is going to say the ah vowel. So we have first syllable pra, that's long. And then this letter C says the S sound. Process, we have an vowel, red tent vowel, process, process. And then we have our lax if vowel and our NG sound. So processing. Processes, with the plural of process, we often will change from process to processes. We have an E and a Z. So one process and several processes. I think you can also say processes, So the normal rule when a word ends in S and we add the ES to make it plural, we have the I-Z sound. So for example, place, that has the S sound, and places, process, processes. But I think processes changes to an E or has that option as well. Process, processes. And then his other question was the word tutorial. And in that word, we have tutor, where we would use a flap T because it's between two vowels and followed by an unstressed syllable. So that sounds like tutor with an oo vowel, tutor. But tutorial changes the syllable stress from the first syllable to the or syllable, tutorial. And then the T says its actual aspirated T sound because it's at the start of a stressed syllable. So that one sounds like tutor. Actually, the first vowel changes as well. So we go from tutor, clear vowel, to tutorial or tutorial. Maybe it's still clear, but it's not stressed. My length is going to be here on the tor. And then I have an E-ul, dark L, tense E. So tutorial and tutor. You can use a dictionary to check if it's tutorial or tutorial. In either case, I want to be fairly short and relaxed on that syllable. Okay, that's a good word. There's a lot of patterns in there that make it challenging where it's different between the spelling and the pronunciation. Similarly, we have a request for the word certificate. Certificate. And if we're talking about the noun certificate, something I can hold, my certificate, I'm going to have second syllable stress. This C says the S sound. My ER says sir, just like the word SIR or the beginning part of the word serve. Certi, I'm going to have my length is there that lacks I sound. So the symbol would be this, certi, and then another shorter, unstressed, lacks I, certificate, which I'm going to write with the K. So even though ATE in normal spelling would say the A vowel because it's unstressed here, it's another I vowel. So we have a lot of I vowels in a row. Certificate. We also have an adjective, certificated, in which case certificated still has second syllable stress, but then we change it to the A vowel. So certificate, certificated. Great question. Hi, Mohammed. He would like to know about spectacular, and occasionally. So let's look at spectacular first. We have second syllable stress here as well, spectacular. So I think in this first syllable, I could either use an spec, like a speck of dust, or spick. I think spec sounds better, spectacular. So it does have a clear vowel, but it's fast, spectac. Here's my stress syllable with my black cat vowel, spectac, y. Now we have a y sound, so a schwa and a y. So it sounds kind of like y or y, spectacular. So spectacular. This AR says the ER sound, so just an even though it's spelled with letter A. Oftentimes at the ends of words, the OR and the AR are going to say more of an sound rather than an R or an OR sound. So spectacular. I would watch out for that, making sure that you get that y in there. It doesn't go spectacu, but spectacular. And then your other word was occasionally. Again, second syllable stress, that seems to be popular today. So again, I have a letter O, but it says the sound because it's unstressed schwa at the start of the word. K. Here, this letter S is going to say my zh sound. So that's the one we talked about in words like version and measure, where it sounds like the SH sound, except my voice is on. Zh. So this is a challenging sound for Arabic speakers. You might have a tendency to do that more like the j sound, and you want to avoid that. You don't want a Cajun, you want a Cajun. So the sound needs to continue, but not have any pushed out air. Occasion, we have the schwa, another schwa, and then lastly, li. So occasionally. So one occasion or occasionally, we'll be talking about the j sound. Thank you, Muhammad. Those are good suggestions. I do have a few other of Muhammad's suggestions. He's one of our channel members that I'll be covering in Sunday's class just for channel members. If you'd like to join that class, it's not too late. That'll be Sunday at 11 o'clock Seattle time, and you can check out membership options by clicking the join button. Dana has some food related vocabulary that other people might find useful. So she's asking about avocado, cauliflower, and mayonnaise. Yes, these are definitely going to be useful and also tricky words. So avocado, we actually don't say that O as an O. So avocado has first syllable stress, vowel A at first, and then this O is going to say schwa, sounds like ava, and then another ka, do. So clear vowels on the A's. All three of these are clear vowels, and then the O in the middle says avocado. Secondary stress probably on the ka and primary on the avocado. So I'd like avocado on my sandwich. Then another vegetable, cauliflower. Cauliflower. So flour, first of all, I have a recent video talking about how this flower and this flower have the same pronunciation. It's the ow vowel plus our, flower. So first of all, being able to say flower correctly is important in the word cauliflower. And then the call is actually like the word call. I'm going to give you a call. It's vowel ah. And so it might help you to think about call. And recently I made a video about the word all and I'll. And many of the requests coming in lately have been about words that have this dark L and this ah vowel. And I think what's happening for people is that when I go from ah to the dark L, all, I can't use a strategy that might work for some of my other dark L's. So if I'm saying feel, or fill, I actually will do fill and feel where I lift my tongue fully, but I can kind of cheat and do feel, fill with just the back of my tongue making that dark L. But I can't do that with all and tall and call. If I don't lift my tongue, call, it sounds distorted. And so oftentimes when we have that ah vowel and the dark L, as in call and cauliflower, that's more challenging. So this is kala, either a schwa or ne, cauliflower. And I think there's some regional variation on the first vowel. Some may say it more like cauliflower with more of an ah. I use the rounded ah, cauliflower. Then we have mayonnaise. Let me just check the spelling here, 2 N's. Mayonnaise has also, I think, more than one acceptable pronunciation. So I can say mayonnaise with that's this ya, and a mayonnaise with a Z. People will also say mayonnaise with more of the, like the word man, and just man-aise. So you can find whichever one is easier for you, mayonnaise, or mayonnaise, or mayonnaise. You could kind of use a mayonnaise. Or another option, just call it mayo, which is just the may and the o, mayo. mayonnaise or mayonnaise. I think for that one, I say more of the mayonnaise variety. It's simpler and has less complications with the vowels. Yeah, Dana, thank you. Those are probably helpful suggestions for a lot of people. And we notice words that we might not be pronouncing correctly when we're having to use them. So that might be something when you're ordering. If somebody's asking you to repeat, it's a clue to you that maybe the way you're pronouncing those particular words are not very clear for your listener. Thank you. Okay, Mohammed wants to know examples of nouns and verbs. So he's talking about particularly the word produce and produce, and a pattern that happens for words that can be pronounced, that are pronounced differently as a noun or a verb. So when I'm using the word produce as a noun, like I'm going to buy some produce, some fruits and vegetables at the store, I have first syllable stress and I use a clear O, pro, and then the deuce is shorter and relaxed. So other examples of that would be, for example, present, like I buy a present, a gift, or record. I have a record of the exchange. Subject, the subject of this topic is nouns and verbs. And then when I'm looking at these same words as verbs, so this one has first syllable stress, this one has, these have second syllable stress. For example, in the verb, I'm going to produce more videos for you, produce, my first syllable becomes the or the schwa sound because it's unstressed. So for practicing that, try just starting with deuce and then a light touch on your first syllable. Deuce, produce. Similarly, I'm going to present, again, my schwa, present. In this case, it becomes a Z rather than an S, present. That's a Z too. Present, longer on the second syllable. I'm going to present some information to you. Record, my first vowel becomes the I. So often with letter E in an unstressed first syllable, like between or record, I have my I sound. Again, short, long, record. I'm going to record the call. And subject, this one, less common, but I'm going to subject you to a long-winded explanation about nouns and verbs. Not to subject you to this further, but if you have questions or concerns about this particular pattern, I do have a video that gives you more examples, teaches you about the first and second syllable stress, and an accompanying website lesson on speechmodification.com. So I'll just show you how to find those types of information, those types of lessons. When you go to speechmodification.com, what you want is the free practice area. So if I look here, I'm on the website and I go up to the top menu. I want to go to free practice, and what should come up is my online practice free trial. And then you'll see recent videos and lessons. And you can also use the search box. So I'm just going to type in verb, for example, and see all the lessons that are related to that will come up in my search. So the first one, past tense verbs, and here's then one for how to pronounce nouns and verbs. And there will be my YouTube lesson, pretty comprehensive list of words that follow these rules, as well as some recordings of me using those words and sentences that you can use to listen to and imitate to get the ideas and information. So oftentimes I do have videos talking about these topics, free lessons for you on the website talking about these topics. So go ahead and ask those comments, ask those questions and comments on my videos, and I'll direct you specifically to those links. And you can also use, as I said, the search tools to help you find those. These kinds of topics also are in my online courses. So if you want to go a little bit more in depth on a pattern that you've noticed, you can go to my courses page. And you'll see I have a number of different courses to choose from. The best one to start with is our 6-week course. And for all of the courses, you can get a free trial. So you can check it out and see if that kind of learning works well for you, and go through some of the lessons and exercises to check that out. Okay, Miguel wants to know about the words strategy, strategic, and stratagem. So for the word strategy, we have first syllable stress, strategy. This T becomes a flap, so it sounds like a D. And the vowel in strategy is our vowel ah, like black cat. So had, what I would try to remember that is pairing it with the word had, like I had a strategy. Then I have and this letter G says the J sound, the J sound, and I have a tense E. So strategy. Then when I'm changing to strategic, it's similar to what we were just talking about earlier with now, because I have second syllable stress, this T no longer is a flap. It actually says the aspirated T sound. And I still have the same stra at the beginning. So I had, oh no, I don't have the same stra at the beginning. I can't use that. So because this syllable is unstressed, it becomes stra, a schwa. So strategy, but stra-t, and then I still have the j sound, jik. And there's a lax I at the end. So strategy, strategic. Then lastly, stratagem. This is not a word that I use as often, but I'm guessing it's a plural for strategy. Stratagem. We go back to our flap T and first syllable stress. So again, my strad, like in strategy, and then gem. We have the J, the J sound, gem. And then we're going to have more of a red tent or more of an I vowel there. So unstressed and short, stratagem. Strategy, strategic, stratagem. Good one. Thank you, Miguel, for that suggestion. Okay, let's see what else we have. Muhammad is asking for a number of definitely challenging words like breweries and jewelry, rarely and rural. I do have a video for rural specifically, and you can check that out on the channel page. I'll also make sure I send you a link to some of your words. I'll talk about breweries and jewelry in our members class on Sunday. And if you can't make the live version of that class, you can also watch the replay. So I have a list of words for you that I'm working my way through as well. Thank you for those great suggestions. And some of the suggestions that you guys have been making in class and for Word of the Day, I'm also making other videos for that go in more detail. So I have the Word of the Day format where I break down the words for you, talk it through. It's these live classes. My other videos tend to have more visuals, more links to other resources. So for things like rural, which is difficult even for an American to say, or brewery or jewelry, I like to break it down even further and be very systematic about how I teach that. So you can watch for more detailed videos on those. And on the channel, when you're on YouTube, Speech Modification Seattle on YouTube, you can use the search tools on there as well to look for specific videos. Or if you're asking about a question for a video, leave that in the comments. I'll send you the link for videos that I've already created that will give you those details that you're looking for. Thank you for those requests. Halim has another related question about words like minute and minute. So minute, the noun, has first syllable stress, minute, and it sounds the same vowel in both. So like minute, minute. Minute, the adjective, sounds more like it has the diphthong I. So it's just like the word my. That looks like this in the dictionary because it's two vowels gliding together. I, my. So minute has second syllable stress, and it has a clear oo for this letter U. So minute, take a minute to think about it. Minute, the difference between those two pronunciations is not minute. It's actually quite big. That's a great request. Thank you. So not only nouns and verbs can be have the same spelling but different syllable stress. That also happens between nouns and adjectives, like minute and minute. Dana wants to know if I'm talking about if I say cocoa or cacao. I say cocoa. I think that's what I grew up with saying, and that's a more of a Midwestern pronunciation. Cacao, I think, is more happened more recently, a more modern alternative. Although to me, it's kind of like more of a trendy way of talking about cocoa powder. But that's just a first impression. I don't know if that's actually, I haven't researched that particular phrase. Miguel is saying that he saw stratagem in HR writings. Yeah, so stratagem is probably a plural for an approach and strategies implemented in HR, for example. We have somebody did the research for us. While cocoa comes from the same source, cacao beans, it refers to highly processed cacao. Okay, so that goes along with my thinking that, cacao might be considered a more healthy alternative, and it's more recent that you can get cacao. Like you can get the cacao nibs, but I think they call those cocoa nibs too. At any rate, now we know cocoa more processed, and that's usually what we call the hot drink. Cacao is the bean that it comes from, and also available less processed. Thank you for looking that up. Okay, we have a question about the word competitor. So let's look at that. We have a lot of words today with second syllable stress, with flap T, with letter O saying different things. These are really great patterns that come up a lot in our Word of the Day videos as well. And you might find that if you have trouble with a word like competitor, other words with COM, useful to know the differences and how they can be pronounced. So you can check out some of those videos to look for that. So for competitor, what we want to watch out for is if I'm saying compete, I have second syllable stress and I have the E sound, the clear E vowel on that letter E. But in competitor, even though I have second syllable stress here, this vowel is more like the F vowel in red tent. So again, my first syllable in both is going to be the sound. So compet. So it's like the word pet or red with the F vowel. Competitor and competitor. Both of these T's, because they don't have a stressed syllable after them and they're between two vowels, they follow the rule of becoming more of a flap T. So that's like a light D. So competitor, and here's our OR that says the ER sound. So even though it has the letter O, it's not competitor, it's competitor in American English. So short, long, short, short, competitor. That's a great suggestion. Thank you for bringing up that word. So many good words and requests today. I really appreciate all of the questions, and thank you so much for attending today's class. I'll be back again live tomorrow with a word of the day, and we're going to be talking about the words woman, women, man, and men, and the interesting part of how woman and man are spelled with MAN but have different pronunciation. So I hope you can attend that class. It'll be at 9:30 tomorrow, live Word of the Day. And of course, it'll be part of our Word of the Day series. You can watch all of those videos as replays going to the channel page as well. I'll be back on Sunday morning or afternoon East Coast time for those of you who are members for our live members class. And next week begins our 4-person small group classes. So I know some of you are viewers and you'll be joining those classes as well. On Wednesdays, those classes will be at 12:30 Seattle time, and on Saturday, it'll be at 10 o'clock Seattle time. There's just a couple spots, I think 2 spots left in Wednesdays and 1 spot left in Saturdays if you'd like to join us. Those classes will be customized training for your specific needs, and we'll meet on Google Meet so I can see you and hear you, give you feedback, and talk to you about your speech. So looking forward to those. I hope some more of you can join. And if it does fill up before you're able to register, you can fill out the waiting list form. Let me know other days and times that might be better for you. I'll be adding more of these 4-person classes over the next coming months in the fall as I have the demand for those classes. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate all of the support, those of you who are members, subscribers, and regular attendees for the class. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound American, you can do it. Speechmodification.com. Bye, guys. Hope to see you tomorrow.